I think charter schools need to be expanded in the city of New York. That doesn't mean at all to the exclusion of trying to reform the remaining parts of the public schools. I think parents need choice. Parents should have more of a decision-making process in their child's education than the government does. And so my opponent and I really disagree, though he's starting to change his tune a little bit to move more. He ran the entire campaign saying charter schools should have to pay rent. Now he's saying only some of them have to pay rent. I understand how this politics works. I also believe co-location is not a problem. And the big issue there is not the big issue, but everybody believes that the charter schools are getting some kind of preferential treatment. Every charter school that I've ever been to that's part of a co-located school is either on the 4th or 5th floor. Public schools have no elevators. These little kids walk up, and whenever I ask what were these rooms used for, book storage is the answer that I normally receive. Now, I can't say that's all charter schools, but the charter schools, are they different? Do they look different? Yes, they do look a little bit different. The teachers actually build the walls. You don't have to wait for the bureaucrats at the Department of Education to send somebody to paint it 9 months later. More importantly, the most impressive thing that I have seen in charter schools, in every single one of them, is that they have banners all along the top, all in the hallways and in the classrooms with colleges. And these kids are focused on the fact that you need to learn now because you want to get on, and you need to go to college, and you need to help your community, and all kinds of great things that they instill in kids. On last Tuesday, I think it was the big rally where charter schools walked across the Brooklyn Bridge to City Hall. And I ran into a little kid, and all the kids started gathering around me, so I actually got down on my knees and talked to this little guy who I thought was way too young to be in school. His name was Adrian, and I asked him, how old are you? What school? And he said he was in kindergarten, and I said, oh really, kindergarten? What's the best part of kindergarten? And I don't know what to actually ask him. What's the best part of kindergarten? And he said to me, the most amazing thing. The best part is walking in the door every morning and seeing all of my friends and how much we're going to learn that day. It was fascinating. This is a 5.5-year-old kid. And then I started talking to him, and he told me, he voluntarily said, when I grow up, I'm going to be an architect. And I think I want to go to Cornell. There may be a better school, but right now my focus is getting into Cornell. This kid's not even friendly. That was consistent all the way out, talking to these charter school kids, all of whom were of color, whether they were Latino or black. It was absolutely amazing. The parents, the amount of hope that was in these parents' face about how important that the kids were getting an education. I know it from my own experience. I've said this before publicly, and I say it a lot to my guys, staff here all the time. I've been on the board of trustees at CUNY for the last 12 years, and we have 7 community colleges. You don't have to take an SAT exam to go to a community college to apply. You have to take an entrance exam. Last September was the worst out of the 12 years. 81% of students who at New York City high school diplomas were deemed incapable of doing college-level work. So the university set aside $30+ million in remedial education in reading, writing, and arithmetic. It's an indictment of our public school system that it's not producing the results that we need. But think about who these kids are. These are kids who voluntarily wanted to go to college. Most of them are the first ones in their families. They wanted to get out of it. They wanted to better themselves. Well, you know what? We've got to do a whole heck of a lot of better job of educating them in core curriculum. We really do. And when I say core curriculum, I'm not talking about the federally mandated core curriculum. I'm just talking about being able to read and being able to write and being able to do arithmetic. Not even more complicated, but they're not, algebra or anything like that, but they're not being prepared. And when you're not prepared, you're not employable, or at least you're not employable in a very good paying job.